Hello, this is Ryan with the Linkasoarus training team, and in this video we are going to talk about CRM chat forms. This is a tool that will allow you to send a private link to a customer that is store or location specific and will allow you to chat back and forth via this link with a customer. This is what it looks like. So over on the left-hand side of the toolbar, you're going to go to Inbox and then go to Location Chats. Here, very similar to Google Reviews, you're going to have all of them collected here. You're going to have awaiting. Awaiting is going to be a status where a customer has messaged you and that comment, that chat is waiting for a reply. It has not yet been closed. We're going to talk about that here in a sec. This is also going to show replied but are not yet closed. So a conversation is going on, but it is actually technically still open. It hasn't officially been closed. And then down here you have closed. We're just going to look at the closed status right here so you can see how all this works. So we have a couple different test chats going on, and over here on the right hand side. So when you click this over on the right hand side, this is going to open up this chat window. So this is almost live. There might be a couple seconds delay, depending on how active you are with a potential customer and going back and forth. And so this is all web-based. And so here, when the customer has opened the chat, we're going to start here just so you can kind of see what the experience is and how it works. So in this example, so this would be the contact information of the chat. We have the location information. So we're just going to use a Domino's pizza location as a reference here. And so this is the name of the location. We'll talk about where we got that from here in a sec. This is automatically generated. This is the location number assigned in your account to the specific location. This is going to show that this is a web chat. We're going to talk about the different types of chats here in a sec. It's going to show whatever email address they prefer to be reached at here. It doesn't necessarily mean if they ordered from your business and used the email address, this is the email address that they use, but this is the email address they prefer to be contacted by. If they provide a phone number, which is optional, this is where it would be here. So instantly you have direct contact information as far as how to reach out to this customer. If they decide not to go back and forth with the chat, you can definitely reach them via these contact methods because they have provided that information. If the customer has provided a order number, a purchase number, somehow if they ordered and there's an order number identifier, they don't have to provide this. But if they have ordered, they have the option of adding this. I'll share how that is acquired here in a sec. And the customer also has the ability to, during this chat, to provide an order date. So if by chance the conversation hasn't started for a period of time after the customer use your business, then you can go back and look at some historical information based on what they provided. But these are optional fields. Now, depending on the hierarchy or the structure of your organization, you have an opportunity to assign. So we're logged in as the admin of this account, but you can go and assign this. So in this situation, it was assigned to me in this test account. But if there are other individuals, such as a supervisor position or a manager position associated with this location, which is all in the setup feature I'll share here as a reminder in a sec, then you can assign the chat with this customer to that team member associated with this location. This tells you the date and time that assignment has been created. Right here, we also have when the first chat started. And so that's when the customer has reached out to you using the link provided and they have initiated the chat. So you have some historical information on kind of when all this kind of started. You have an opportunity of adding notes in here. And so if, for example, you want to add additional notes that are not part of the actual chat, such as the customer was reached by phone, maybe they didn't reply back to your chat reply and you couldn't get a hold of them, and then you reached out to them via email or via phone number or whatever it is, any internal notes, you have an opportunity of saving these in here for later reference. Again, for further optimizing your internal customer interaction coaching or any other information you might want. And then this is an example of where me as the customer, so I am the customer, Ryan Swanson, test 5. The customer's name is listed here. So again, this is the customer's information. So I'm just kind of listing that as an example. In this example, I just put in here, this is a test and I want to share these photos. the customer has an opportunity of adding up to 3 images, 3 attachments to their chat. I'll show you how that works here in a sec. And then in this chat window here, I was able to reply back as the team member. So in this example, I am the team member of this location in Linkasoarus, and I just replied back with a message. I included, just from a test standpoint, an image here. So if I wanted to share something with the customer that was private to them, I can send, for example, a picture of a coupon code, anything I wanted to share visibly to that customer, I can do that. And I have a record here of all of those images. This is also important from a brand protection standpoint. So if by chance an image was shared by your team back to a customer, you now have historical information here to kind of reference that. So if there was something that was inappropriate, then you can use that as a coaching opportunity and do the corrective actions that you might have set up for your company. So I replied back to the customer. This is me as a Linkasoarus user, acting as like the manager. I sent this to them. Again, this is me as a test customer, replying back, great, thanks. And so the conversation kind of keep going on and on and on. Down here, when this chat is live, this is where the team member, manager, supervisor, admin, doesn't matter, whoever is assigned to this can create this chat, hit send. This gives some information here as far as images, GIFs, whatever the type of attachment you're wanting to attach. You can attach that file here and send that off. And so then when you're done with the chat, over here at the top, there will be a closed button. You would close this and it will prompt you, letting you know the chat has ended. You also have an option to confirm that before it's officially closed, because once it's closed, then the customer can no longer reply back to you on their end, and you can no longer reply back to them on your end, but you do still have their contact info up here at the top. Once it is closed, it will move from either the awaiting or applied section over here to the closed section. Now, email notifications do go out anytime a customer submits these forms. The team members associated with that location will all receive a notification that this chat has been started. The email notification will also include the initial chat message, so you can quickly see in this example, this message right here coming from the customer. So in your email notification, you'll be able to instantly kind of see, is this a compliment? Is this a concern? And that will kind of help you internally identify, how fast you want to get back to this customer. Best practice, just sharing, is to always reply to every single customer, whether it is a positive or negative feedback, just to show that their voice is being heard. All right, so now we've gone through this section here. What we're gonna do here is look to see how we get these actual links. There's actually 2 spots you can do this. So we're gonna start back over here. So under the location edit option, so this is a Domino's test location here, this feature is down here. And there are 2 links. Both of these links go to the exact same and do the exact same thing, but for internal tracking purposes, they are unique. One here is advertised as a web link, and this would be considered like a store link or location link. And there's a little icon here that kind of helps you understand what you might want to use that for. So a best practice would be if you have a QR code or some type of mechanism going on at the individual physical retail business where you want to give customers the opportunity to interact with you that's not necessarily internet-based, this would be the recommended URL to use. Again, both of these are going to go to the same place, but from an internal tracking standpoint, I'll show here in a sec, this would just be a one way of tracking the number of customers that are engaging with this form via the actual physical retail business. Then you have this location field right here. This is another URL, does the exact same thing, but this could be something where, like, if you're applying to a Google review, I'll give you an example here what that could look like, or a customer complaint, or anything where somebody's already engaged with you digitally outside of your physical retail business. This would be this exact same link, but just a different way of tracking the customer engagement for your own internal optimization, kind of figure out, where people are deciding to communicate with you. This could be social media, this could be email, this could be Google review, any type of interaction with a customer digitally. This would be the recommended one to use. If you use the first one up here, it's not going to matter. It's just going to kind of mess up your analytics internally for tracking purposes. So what happens when we go to this actual link? It's going to look something like this. And so let's just say a customer gave you, for example, a Google review. And when a Google review happens, as you might know, Google will send a notification, a one-time notification back to the customer that gave your business a review. Customers don't include personal content information in those reviews because they are public. So what you can do is provide this link that I just shared, which will generate right here, and it has your brand included in the URL. So in this example, we're talking about Domino's, and so here the actual brand is included in the URL to help with user or customer confidence that this is a legit link. And so that kind of helps from a brand alignment standpoint. And then when you go here, it's going to grab your official corporate brand logo. And this is tied to your official brand's Facebook profile image. And so this from time to time might actually change. So in this example, Domino's has this current black background and has a gold logo. But in the future, this actually might change to a full color image. And that's totally depicted by your national brand. This is going to give you in this example the name of the location, and this is coming from this right here in the setup. So whatever you have for the name, the quote unquote name of this specific location, that's where it's going to get branded right here. So again, for customer confidence that they're getting ready to interact and start a chat with the right location. This is really important because by chance, if a customer it goes to the wrong link, they will probably stop the process and kind of figure out what they're doing wrong because they're getting ready to give a review or feedback on the wrong location. So this is really helpful for customer confidence. Also, you have your customer address here for your individual location. So you have your name, you have location. Again, this is being pulled from the location setting here. So this is really important that this is always correct. So now this is either a positive or feedback form. It's kind of generic because sometimes customers want to reach out to you and give you praise, give your business praise. And this could also be used as an opportunity to share with you maybe their dissatisfaction with their experience. And so this is where they would put their first and last name, email address, phone number. They could type whatever comments they like here. If by chance they want to put an order date in, if they remember, they can select that here. They can put their order number here if they actually have that or if they remember that. And they can attach up to 3 images, especially if they're referencing, let's just say, poor product or something physical that they can share that they have a picture of. That's really helpful. That can help with the transparency to your team. This is exactly if it's an issue, they can show those pictures. Just for confidence, they're going to have to select this box right here to consent to personal communication back and forth. And then for purposes of validation, all you have to click is the box that says, I'm not a robot, and then they will submit the review. They are going to receive an email notification letting them know that, yes, your review, your feedback has been received. Your team will receive that. The customer in this example will receive that, so they know that the process has been started. And this is what it would look like. So after the communication has gone out, you're going to receive the notification. Once the chat goes, their email is going to have a unique link, and so is yours as a user of Linkasoarus. And this is what the private link would look like online, and this is going back and forth. So it doesn't matter what type of device they're using, they'll be able to see this communication. So as we mentioned before, this was the initial coming from the customer. This is from the quote-unquote manager test here, replying back with a picture. Here's another one as well. And so this is the screen that the actual customer would receive. Again, they're receiving an email notification. They're going to open this up and they're going to be able to see the whole history of the chat, and they can communicate back and forth with your team using this link. And every single time a chat reply is sent to them, they're going to receive a reminder notification. So if by chance they leave the screen and you're having a very active conversation, they're going to always be brought back to this screen. Now you can always go and check the analytics here. So this is under the analytics tab, short URLs, and then review URLs. This here is an example. We'll show the 2 different links. Here's one link for the short URLs for the location, and then the web URLs here for use of online. If you'd like to generate a QR code to use in your internal marketing, print at the location level, you definitely can do that. You can also check and create one here for digital use as well. Again, both of them work in tandem to go to the exact same place, but just internally you have some opportunities of tracking them that way. You have analytics here that show how many clicks you have on both stages here, and if by chance for your print or digital QR code, you can hit the edit button just like with your other short URLs, to where you can come and create a custom QR code that is trackable. And then just with a click of a button, you can click this option right here, which will download it to your device. And then you can use that in whatever type of medium you're trying to use, whether it's print or it's digital. If you have any questions about this location chat feature, you can always reach out to the Linkasoarus help team using the help icon in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen and open up a ticket. And a Linkasoarus team member will be with you ASAP. And as always, link and soar with us.